DIY or Die, Walker Vapor Group LLC, or any of its associates do not condone nor encourage the use of nicotine, vapor products, or any mood-altering substances without the explicit consent of a physician. The content viewable on this channel is strictly for entertainment purposes only and not meant to be seen as informational or educational. Must be 21 years or older to view these materials.
Silky beat. Hey, what is up, mixers? Welcome back to another glorious episode of the MIXINVIXENS. My name is Emily, also known as mlNikon, and please join me in welcoming the other Vixens. First up, we've got Mistress Rin. Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Good.
Good. And we've got the lovely Lumi. Hi, Lumi.
Hey.
Hello. And last but certainly not least, we've got Jen, the TheJuiceFairy.
Hey everybody!
With her
Hello! Happy
cute,
Sunday!
adorable new haircut.
I chopped it off.
I like it. How are you doing this weekend?
Good. Dave messed with me today. It's all Dave's fault.
What happened?
He asked me if I had a couple of flavors, so I was looking for them, and then I decided to clean up organize my vape stuff, so I got nothing else done because I organized my entire shelf. Everything is organized now, but I've been in here since, I think he texted me about 11 o'clock this morning.
You know, I get like that too. I'll go to do something and I'll get distracted and end up wasting like hours just reorganizing something or cleaning
the whole day. I mean, but it needed to be done. You know, flavors, we move flavors around so much when we're mixing and stuff, and I haven't done it in over a year, so it needed doing. It just didn't.
Yeah.
It just took 8 hours.
Yeah, that can happen. You have as many flavors as we do. What about you, Rin? Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, it was pretty chill. Didn't really do much, but you know.
Cool. That's good. It's nice to have a chill weekend. I was able to get on the trails this weekend, and it was a Friday afternoon. It was really nice and like actually kind of warm and sunny. So we went for took the little doggos on a hike. We have between there's me and my wife and two of our friends and one of their daughters. We have like 6 or 7 dogs. It's like a huge pack that we all just go on a walk together.
That's really nice, though. That's really nice. Dogs get to play. They get to interact. You know,
Yeah.
They're all socialized.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
the adults
they love
socialized.
it. We let a couple of the good ones, we let them off leash, you know, so they run ahead and they explore and sniff and then they'll come back. It's a good time. So all right.
I have what I call a zapper on my bad one, so that even if we go somewhere, I don't like to leash them for too long. I can just I don't have to zap her at all. I just have to beep her, and she knows. She comes right back and stands right next to me. She's like, "Oh shit! Just don't press that other button."
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, we have one of those too that we use for the longest time. Every now and then we'll put it on as like a refresher if she needs a behavior check.
Exactly. That's exactly what I use it for. But usually when I'm out in public is when I put it on her. I know I get the looks. I don't care. My dog is good.
Yeah, it's a good tool. If you know how to use them right, you know, there's nothing wrong with them. For sure. So you guys can see the profile in the picture or in the corner there. This was submitted by Joshua Hatfield, and boy, am I glad it was.
Yeah, it was a good submission.
I had a really good time with this one. In fact, all my testers are gone already. They didn't even make it to today. I really enjoyed messing with this one. got some good tips and learned some things along the way and had a really good time. So, what about you, Lumi? Did you like mixing this one up?
I'm starting to be like, what do I do for donuts? I've made so many donuts that I'm just like, what can I do that's different? But I came across a nice little thing that I ended up doing. Pretty happy with it.
Nice, cool. What about you, Rin? Did you enjoy mixing it up this weekend or this week?
I don't know about enjoy, but I mean, it wasn't bad.
It wasn't awful.
I mean, it's kind of a basic bitch thing.
It is, yeah.
Like, it's a donut with glaze and nuts on it.
Yep.
But you know, it's nice to have like a simpler recipe for once. So, and I got to play with the new flavor. So,
oh, that's fun.
yeah.
Well, how about this? How about you go first, so that we can hear about the new flavor you played with?
Okay. Now, I did not single flavor test that flavor.
Okay.
So this is the only experience I have with it. So I can't tell you details about it.
All right.
So I used the donut mixture I used in one of the other donuts because I liked it and I figured it would fit here because to me it's like a donut hole with like a honey glaze and then some pistachios on top. So I did 1% each of Wonder Flavors Angel Cake and Glazed Donut, and then I added 0.10% of honey by Wonder Flavors. The reason I went so low is if you mix any kind of honey, it's usually super strong, and I really just wanted it to be a glaze and not anything more than that. So I had to go that low. And it mixes with the glaze on the glazed donut well, so it turns it into kind of a honey glaze. And then the new flavor I used is Pistachio by Sesame, and I used that at 0.2%. I think that's the only sesame I've tried so far, but they're pretty strong from what I gather. Even Wayne says that he mixes his fairly low. So again, I had to kind of mix it low, so it didn't overpower anything. But yeah, I mean, it's all right. It's a donut with glaze and nuts on it.
You know, it's really interesting. I want to talk more about using honey down low because you're right. This honey, even though it's a really good honey, all honeys are kind of like bright and floral and like, so the fact that you were able to turn it into like a honey glaze with that Wonder Flavor glazed donut and it down low, that's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, you could use any honey that you like. Like my go-to is typically Flavora's honey, but it is a little floral.
Yeah.
And
Flavora honeybee is it's a little bit more floral than Wonder Flavors.
Yeah, and I don't know that I've tried Wonder Flavors. So again, it gave me an opportunity to use a flavor that I either haven't used or don't recall using. And it worked here. It's a little bit more of a just honey and not super floral.
Yeah, it's a pretty good honey. I think the between that one and I think it's the Loran's honey that sometimes I'll go for back that aren't, they're a little bit lesser of the florals of all the honeys. Which I really like because sometimes you want like a deeper base or like a honey glaze kind of thing, and you don't want that like bright floralness.
Yeah.
So very cool. I like it. I like it a lot.
It's simple.
Yeah.
She got it done.
And I haven't tried any of the sesame flavors. I know chefs carried a bunch for a while, and then I looked the other day, and they barely had anything. So I don't know what happened there, if they're just sold out or if they stopped carrying them. But for a little while, they were carrying them, and it seemed like a lot of people were talking about how good they were. And right now, all they have is Smurf ice cream and banana milkshake.
Yeah, I got mine direct from them when they had their Black Friday sale because I figured might as well get them on sale if I'm going to get them.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
because they're not
Cool.
cheap. And then you have to wait a minute because they're coming direct from over there.
Yeah.
I try to get like the more obscure flavors. Pistachio was one that wasn't, but my mentality is I have yet to come across the authentic pistachio flavor, so might as well try it, see if it's something more than just almond.
Right. Yeah. Something a little different, right? For sure.
Yeah.
And pistachio is a good nut.
Yeah.
I think it's my favorite nut out of all of them is pistachio.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. I like cashew.
Well, yeah.
But-
Yeah, but did you know that cashew is not a nut?
It's like a fruit or berry or
It's a
something.
fruit.
Yeah.
But I mean,
What? What?
still a
What?
nut.
Did you just say it wasn't a nut?
Yeah, cashew's not a nut.
No way.
Apparently.
I'm
I
gonna have
don't
to
know.
Really
Google that.
weird looking too. If you've ever seen it, it's weird.
But I still like them. I just yeah, cashew and pistachio I think would be my favorite. I will go because I'm kind of really excited to talk about mine. So I did for the donut part, I did a mixture of 2% glazed donut by one of flavors and 0.5% for sweet dough. I really have been liking sweet dough lately just because it gives it a good like yeastiness, not in the way that Joy does, you know what I mean, but like a nice like puffy kind of donut vibe. And if you use it, it's strong. So like 0.25, 0.5 is all you need. And then I did 0.25% one of the flavors cookie butter. Just to, I mean, more butter, right? Like it's a donut. Like who needs, let's just add more butter. That's never a bad idea. And then for the nut part, I hemmed and hawed about what to use. Like I could do mixed nuts by Inaware or FA, like nut mix, or I could do a peanut or something. I'm like, no, I took a couple of pages from Fresh's book actually, and we'll get to that in a minute. But he made probably a year or so ago a koi hole, he called it, and he used Kanako soy, and it was like a donut hole with Kanako. He used Kanako soy for the nuttiness, right? And I remember still to this day, like it was memorable and it was really good, and I really enjoyed it. So I decided to use 0.75% Kanako soy as my like nut on the donut hole. And then my glaze to go with the glazed donut, because it's a mostly glazed. There is some yeast in there and some breading, but it's very glaze heavy. But to go with that, to kind of darken it up, I went with Favor butterscotch at 1.5%. Really leaned into that Favor butterscotch, but kind of dark sweetness, honey glaze kind of. Butterscotch will do that sometimes. And then I did sweetener. Flavor West sweetener or E-cig Express sweetener, whatever, just sucralose at 0.5%. But the other thing I took from Fresh's book was 0.25% Favora avocado. And you guys are probably looking at that and being like, avocado, that's so weird. Why would you put that in a donut?
I did the same thing. We have two flavors the same.
It gives it like this slightly kind of greasy mouthfeel that just makes it authentic. It just sets it kind of over the edge as like a glazed yeast donut, and it was really good. Like, and I like all the testers that I did, I vaped, like I said, I already vaped through them before the show. I couldn't stop myself. Normally I have a little more self-control than that, but it was just so good. And yeah, you guys need to mix this up. In fact, you all need to go right now and click on the link and make this on the front page so that other people can mix it up.
That good, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I bet it is. It looks interesting. It looks intricate. It looks very well thought out. I mean, sweet dough is one of the flavors that I went with on one of my testers, and I mean, you know, you and I almost have. I mean, we almost have the same recipe.
Really?
I mean, it is
Oh.
so freaking close. There's several things that are different, but the cookie butter, the glazed donut, the kanako soy, the avocado, it's all there.
Awesome.
When you were saying that, I was looking at it, I was like, wait, what time did
you
she post?
copy off of me?
Yeah, I was like, what time did she post hers? Did she post hers after me? Let me go back and look.
I probably did.
You did post after me, so I was so glad for that. Oh, it looks really, really good. Your percentages look really fantastic. That avocado definitely does give that little bit of oil.
It
oiliness.
does.
And that kanako soy is that is a perfect nutty note.
I'm gonna have to remember that avocado trick, and like it's Fresh told me to do it, and I told him I would give him credit for it. But like, there's oftentimes I'm looking for, like, if I'm doing something fried, you know, I want that kind. It'll come out too kind of wholesome or too like homemade tasting, and I want it to be like trashy. You know, like I want it to be like a prepackaged fried product.
Right, and that avocado
And
gives it the creaminess and the fry and the oiliness without giving it extra butter.
yeah, and like there's some flavors that will do that, like either sometimes deep fried pastry dough will do that. Sometimes I think it's jungle flavor churro, but like both of those things have a spice component that you may not necessarily want in something. So you do a little bit of avocado, and it's bland enough, mellow enough that it's not going to be out of place in many recipes at all, I wouldn't think.
And you used it low at 0.25, so it's also not going to cream it up too much to where it takes away from the doughiness of the donut. So
yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, because I wanted it to be bready, like, and like puffy, you know, like not a cake donut, but like a puffy yeast donut. And this is exactly how it turned out, and I was very happy with it. So yeah,
looks
Good
good.
job.
thanks.
I think I'll go next so that we can go side by side.
Sure. All right. Let's see what you got. I'm anxious to see.
Let me pull it up real quick. I've got it right here. It just disappeared. Okay, there it is. So I did, mine was a glazed donut. I called it Greek donuts because that's what the picture is called. And I'm going to read right off my recipe, and then I'll just read right off of it. I don't have to do that. Screw it. Okay, so I used avocado much lower than you. I used it at 0.1%.
Okay.
I used, okay, so for my donut part, it's glazed donut SC at 2% with Zipola at 2.5%. I know you don't like the zesty, spicy notes in Zipola, but I was looking for that in the Greek.
No, I bet it would. Yeah, I bet it would be really good with this. Yeah.
I did 2 and 2.5 of the Zipola, but then I wanted more body in it. So I used biscuit from Anywhere at 1.75 to give it more body inside, some depth, a little more butter. And pastry zest, because I find that the flavor, the spices inside Cipolla with pastry zest is really good. So I've always enjoyed the combination of Cipolla with a little bit of pastry zest. I used my pastry zest at 0.5%.
I completely forgot about that flavor. I bet that was good.
Well, I was cleaning in here, and afterwards I'm running across stuff thinking, oh, I could have used that, or I could have used that, like the
Right?
sunseed. I thought about sunseed, and that
Oh,
was one
yeah.
of the flavors I came across today, and I was like, ah, it's too late to mess with it.
Little bit of sunseed would, yeah, that would
Yeah, I
be
could have
really
used
cool.
sunseed instead of using the Kanako soy, because the Kanako soy, what I used for my pistachio was FA pistachio, which is not a pistachio that tastes like almonds or it doesn't taste artificial. But it also doesn't have enough of a nutty note, but it does have a greasy note to it, which
Yeah.
is fantastic. It's like a natural nut. It even has that oily kind of taste, but that's why I added the extra Kanako soy, and I use that at 0.05. So mine is also way lower than yours because I'm just trying to accent the almond. I mean,
Right, you already have a nut. Where I'm
already-
using Kanako soy as the nut.
yeah,
No, that makes perfect sense.
I already have pistachio, so I'm trying to just boost that pistachio to give it
Yeah.
some more nutty taste, because it tends to be a little greasier, a little bit softer of a nut than it should be.
Mhm.
So with the Kanako soy, it gave it the right consistency. And then I used VT golden syrup
Yeah.
for my honey glazy kind of note, and that's what I use for it. So let me go down the list. It's avocado 0.1, biscuit Inawera at 1.75, glazed donut 2%, golden syrup 1%, Kanako soy, pastry zest at 0.5, pistachio 1.5, and 2.5 Cipolla. So my total flavor percentage is 9.4. It's kind of low for the flavors I used, but this is also the type of recipe that needs steeping. So, I mean,
Yeah.
all those flavors do get stronger.
Yeah, that's one thing I want to say about mine too is sweet dough needs some time to give it like 4 or 5 days. This looks absolutely fantastic, Jen. If I wasn't having so many versions with something else, like as my batch, I would have done a version with golden syrup. But I try not to change too many things in one batch, because golden syrup, butterscotch, things like that. I bet that's a fantastic honey glaze.
Yeah, it just adds the right glaziness to it without adding. I didn't want to go with honey. I was scared of honey because usually
Yeah.
when I actually use honey, I keep having to make other batches till I get that percentage right. And with 1 week to create something, it just wasn't in my game plan to mess with the honey too much. So I went safe and I used VT golden syrup.
Yeah, no, that's a good call. I bet that's really good. I might have to mix this up as well.
You won't mix it because it's got too much Cipolla in it.
No,
that was another thing in my batches. I played around with that, with the donut from Etsy, the Etsy donuts from Wonder Flavors, and the Cipolla. So I was trying to see which one I wanted higher, which one, and they were like fighting each other, and I ended up going 2 and 2, and then I was like,
I'll just split the difference, right?
I was like 2 and 2, and then I was like, oh, it needs a little more Cipolla now, and I pushed it to that extra 0.5. That's it. But it's funny that we use the avocado and the Kanako soy, because Kanako soy
that's really cool.
also,
And it's good to know that it works like the same down at 0.1. That maybe I didn't need to go up to 0.25.
Yeah, I find if I go up too high, it gets kind of peanutty for me, and it might just be my sensitivity.
Well, you know what? I probably didn't notice it because of the nuttiness in the vape already. You know what I mean?
Right, and I already I didn't want to kill the pistachio and bring a different type of nut to the game. So I was just using it to boost that nutty note without making it into a peanut type note.
Okay.
But sunseed would have been nice too, in place of Kanako soy.
What would have?
Sunseed.
Oh yeah.
After I saw sunseed, I was like, oh, I wish I would have found that.
Yeah, sunseed is nice too. Yeah, but there's some quality about Kanako soy that I just really enjoy. it's like a very pleasant kind of mellow nuttiness. Yeah, and like it has a darkness to it without being overpowering, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
Kanako soy is my trick for peanut butter.
yeah, it's good. I like it. Very cool. Thank you for sharing, Jennifer. All right, Lumi, you're up.
Oh, goodness. So I didn't even go the nutty route because I've never had a donut with nuts on it, and it looked more like a plain donut. So I was like, those nuts aren't even really there to represent nuts. So I went with a cinnamon sugar donut instead.
Oh, okay.
And I wanted to try to make it a little bit different than my other donuts that I've made. So I used churro by Jungle Flavors at 0.43, cinnamon sugar Silverline Capella 0.68, cream filling super concentrate Wonder Flavors at 0.72, and Chemnovatics donut at 1.17. I used the churro and the cinnamon sugar to try to give it more of like a light cinnamon sugary note, and cream filling just to try to make it less of a dry donut. So, and plus it had butter, and I was like, you can't go wrong with butter in a donut, especially when you're going for a fried donut.
Yeah, that's right. You gotta get the butter.
So, yeah, simple, no nuts. I surprisingly avoided the nuts.
You know, that Jungle Flavors churro is really freaking good. Like, it's, I think, my favorite, like, all-in-one kind of churro, like, fried anything flavor. If I'm doing something fried and it's got even a little bit of cinnamon in it, I'm going to use that churro because it does that fried note so well. Yeah, I like that. And of course,
I don't
donut.
have that donut gusto from Chemnovatic.
Oh, it's good. It's really good. It's kind of a cross between Wonder Flavors glazed donut and like a little bit of Saluba Rome donut. Like it's really good and like yeasty. It's not as glazy as Wonder Flavors, but it's a good yeast donut flavor. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I didn't really see like a glazy note to it. It could just be me. It looked more like a plain donut with like a light scattering of nuts. So I was like, what do I do with this?
Yeah.
I just Googled how they make them. So that's how I knew what was in it. Otherwise I wouldn't have known.
I didn't Google it.
I didn't even know they were Greek donuts. I didn't read the people's comments.
It was actually on the picture.
Oh,
when
was
I saw
it?
I was like, oh, let me go Google that.
Oh, wow.
That actually looks good. Let me see
That
what it is.
just goes to show how I. Oh
And
yeah,
I saw the Greek donut thing. I just didn't bother to Google
Humade's
it.
Greek donut. Yeah, I didn't pay attention to that.
Yeah, but you definitely caught that it's a fried donut.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like churro, so I was like, let's see what I can do with Novatics donut and churro together.
Mm-hmm. And then that cinnamon sugar by Capella. Yeah, I like it. I like where your head is at, Lumi. Looks good. Man. So we had quite a few people play along with us today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 6 people. So that's fun. Must have been a hot topic, popular profile. Yeah. So I'll just start with Darcy's fried donuts dunked in milk. And she did 3.5% Wonder Flavors glazed donut, 1% milk and honey, 2% Capella's sugar cookie, and then she did 0.75% Zapola. So short and sweet, very simple. Looks good. That milk and honey, I bet, does a good job of darkening up the donut, you know, making that glaze a little bit more darker. Yeah.
I don't know. Do we have the recipes up in the chat?
Yeah, Rin put them in the Zoom chat.
Okay, that's what I was looking for. I didn't know. I saw 4 right there in the Zoom chat that she put up there. I just didn't know if they were the ones. I haven't opened them yet. I didn't know if they were ours. I'll go next. I'll pull the next person. Is that
All
okay?
right.
Sounds good. Okay. So the next one was from Drip Drop Vapes. He calls it Luke's V3 #MV. And he did FA Almond at 0.5, Bergamot at 0.5, Caramel from FA at 0.5, French Vanilla Cream from TFA at 1.25, Funnel Cake Capella 1.5, Graham Cracker Clear at 0.5, Super Sweet, and Cipolla 2.75. So his main donut looks like it's Cipolla. Mixed it with some funnel cake for some body.
Yeah, greasy note. Yeah.
And he used a graham cracker to give it additional body and grain. Is what I'm thinking.
I like that he used FA caramel as like the glaze.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting using that bergamot. FA bergamot like that. I wonder how much orange you would get from it.
That's his version of pastry zest at 0.5. I don't know.
Yeah, true.
But almond and bergamot go really well together. They blend really nicely. So that's probably a good combination.
This looks good too. Drip Drop. This looks really good. I'm here for it. You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Rin, you want to read off Jeannie's?
Yes. All right. So Vixen's Greek Donut. You have Almond by Flavor Art 1%, Glazed Donut Flavor West 4%, Toasted Almond Capella 1.5%, and Zapola Flavor Art 3%.
Okay. You know, I don't think I've ever tried Flavor West glazed donut. Let me look, see if I have a note for it. It's really sad that I've tried single flavor tested so many flavors that in order to remember what I've tested, I have to look up my notes. Oh, and I have tested it.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for too, to see if I have as well.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I have not very yeasty, no real glaze, just a slightly sweet doughiness. Which she's, you've got that Zapola for the sweetness and, that
I was going to
element.
say, she probably used the Cipolla for the donut.
The glazed donut is just there to boost it and give it a little bit more doughy body, if you will.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Lumi, would you like to read the next one? Tax?
I think I missed somebody's because I have the next one I have after Jeannie's is Selden Scum.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and read Selden Scum, and I'll do Michelle's next after that one.
Okie dokie. We got Greek Donut God Selden Scum.
Ooh.
It's a double chocolate by Capella. 1%. Fluffy white cake, super concentrate, wonder flavors, 1.25. Frosted donut, TPA, 3%. Glamour chocolate, mullenberry, 1.30%. Honeycomb, VTA, 1%. Pistachio cream, super concentrate, wonder flavors, 1.4%. Sweet Mate, VTA, at 0.80%. And Zapola, FA, 1%. This looks fascinating.
It really does. And the one thing I really like is the TFA frosted donut. Like if you're going for a spiced donut anyway, and it looks like, she is, or he, sorry, with the Zapola anyway. Frosted donut by TFA, I really enjoy that flavor for the frosted element. Like to me, it's like the glaze that should go on Zapola. You know what I mean? It's got a little bit of a cardboardy note, but not, I don't think with everything else here, that would be easily covered up. but it
Plus it can
does,
seep out. You know what I mean?
yeah, it steeps out, but it does the frosting, like that glaze, really well. I never would have thought to add chocolate to this, though. That's cool. Glamour chocolate and Cap double chocolate. Two pretty decent, really decent chocolates, too. Awesome. Thank you, Seldom Scum. All right. So the next one is by Michelle, author Michelle Hughes on ELR. Tox Greek Donuts. She says in parentheses concept. So does that mean she just theory crafted this and submitted a recipe that she didn't try? Tisk tisk. I'll go ahead and read it anyway.
If she did, then she kind of told us she did. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. We got 2% cheesecake graham crust by TFA, 1% Flora milk and honey, 1.4% TFA pie crust, 3% Capella sugar cookie, 0.5% super sweet by Capella, 1% Capella vanilla cupcake, and 2% vanilla custard by Capella. And then she did 1% FA walnut.
Oh, that's a good one.
You know, I wonder how that donut base is with the graham crust and the cupcake and the pie crust with the sugar cookie. If you're watching, Michelle, and you've tried this since you posted it, although it says she posted it yesterday, so maybe not. But if you have, let us know, or at a later time, let us know how you like it, because that is super interesting. I like that addition of the milk and honey for that dark, because that's a dark sweetness. It's like it's not honey and it's not milk, but it's like a dark.
She's got me wanting to put a pie crust on a donut now.
I know, right? Like, that could give it like that kind of crispy edge that they have. That's really interesting.
That's a good 2 flavor mix to test.
This is just making me want donuts. Like all
I know,
of these
like,
are just making me want donuts, and I can't get out of my house to go get donuts. So I'm gonna just be sad over here.
Well, Lumi, maybe this will cheer you up. The last donut that's left, it's Sam's.
Yeah, but he didn't use the weird percentages. He fell off the wagon.
Over it. You're like, ah.
He fell off the wagon. I'm over it.
That's okay. Read it anyway.
Fine. I've got Greek donuts. I am Sam. I'm just going to add my own Lumi percentages. No, fuck it. That's too much work. All right. We got bread sweet, super concentrate, wonder flavors 2.60. We got donut Chemnovatic 2%, golden syrup VTA 1.6%, honey super concentrate wonder flavors 0.4%, pistachio flavora 0.5%, pistachio cream super concentrate wonder flavors 1.20, pudding base, I want to try that, VTA 0.80, sweet dough flavora, I love that flavor, 0.20, sweetener, gross, flavor west, 0.30.
It looks good. It looks complicated. It looks like he verified it.
Yeah, but you know, I really want to try the sweet dough and sweet bread combo with the Chemnovatic donut.
I don't know how I feel about any kind of bread flavors in my donuts, and I don't really want to think of that kind of glaze on my donut. Well, if you catch my drift.
Sweet bread it has that kind of starchy yeastiness, right? That you want from like those puffy donuts, and yeah, that's really interesting. Oh yeah, it is very complicated, Sam. Like it looks like you're so superfluous, but I'd give it a shot. It looks good.
Yeah, that sweet dough, that sweet bread, and a donut. Those 3 together, just to see if we can come up with a just donut base.
Good
idea. And then just go down the line with all the different donuts to see which one it fits with.
Exactly, right?
That sounds like something I would do.
Yeah, just
Go down
add
the
sweet
donut
dough
trail.
and sweet bread to a bunch of different donuts, and
Yeah.
it looks good. And I like that. Yeah, he used the Wonder Flavors honey, you know, and he paired the Flavor pistachio with the Wonder Flavors pistachio cream to kind of, and that pudding base. I really liked it. So I think it's too much bakery, Sam. I think you did too much, because pudding base is good. I mean, it's good too. Like that would be a good choice as well, but not along with everything else. But who knows? It's probably freaking delicious. He seems to know what he's doing most times, you know. I don't think I've tried a mix of his that I was like, oh, this isn't good. You know,
And he likes to shake and vape fast. So I mean, within 3 days, I bet you he was vaping this.
Oh, he has a fluffy bread note, or a fluffy bread donut coated in a drizzly honeyed syrup and tossed in fine pistachio.
Man, you gotta always be extra. I love it. I love that about you, bud. I like it. I'm here for it. Sure. Thank you for playing along, Sam. Looks good.
May have just ruined the way I thought of donuts, though.
No, I mean, sweet bread just sounds like perfect in a donut. Because, I mean, a donut is bread, basically.
With sugar on top.
With sugar, yeah, with sugar on top. And it definitely has that with the golden syrup and the honey. You know, sweet dough is pretty darn sweet too. And, you know, so very cool. Thank you for playing along. Yeah, if like you said, he could have cut it down, but it was his V1 and he liked it. I'm that way too. Like if I try a version and I really like it, it's like, yeah, I could mess with it, but do I want to? You know, why fix something
sometimes
that's not
you just
broke?
don't want to, you know?
Yeah. Sometimes
Especially if it's good.
it's
Especially
good
if
enough.
it's good enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to me, it's like, unless I'm doing something for a commercial client, like if it's tasty, I'm not going to nitpick it to death.
Same.
And, you know, like I've been there, I've done that. Like I've done batches upon batches of versions to find the exact perfect thing. And what's it called? I forget what it's called, but like the ratio was something of returns. The profit of returns, or the margin of
the margin of error.
Not the margin of error. The something about
tolerance.
About how, like, you put in 80% more work for 20% more, you know, end product. It just isn't worth it, you know. So sometimes if it's good to you, it's good, and you don't want to mess with it.
If it's good and it's vapable, it's good enough. If it's delicious and is lacking something and you're on the verge of a masterpiece, then you go back and you fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're like, oh my God,
And
what have I made? And then you're like, hold on, I gotta go tweak it. You know, that happens too. So I mean,
not profit margin, something margin of error.
Have you been playing in the stock market or something that you got all these margins and profits? And
no, it's not profit margin. That was Sergeant Nuker that put that out. No, it's like something of returns, diminishing something of returns. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
You got it on the tip of your tongue and can't say
it. It's driving me crazy. Diminishing something of returns, or I don't know. Anyway, you know what I mean. Like, there's a point where you make changes and things get better.
The cost to benefit, the cost to the benefit cost.
Exactly. Cost benefit ratio gets messed up after a certain point, and you put in all this extra work for just a little bit of, you know, better end product, and it's not worth it sometimes. All right, that's the show. Thank you everybody for playing along. Next week, you know, I'm excited for every profile this month. Next week, it was submitted by Amber Knowles Van Zyl. And it looks freaking fire. It's like a creamy kind of thing with like a pie crust and like whipped cream and like it looks like maybe butterscotch in it or something. I'd want to eat it. And I can't. So I'm really excited to be able to work on it so I can vape it because whatever it is, it needs to be in my face. So yeah. And I've already gotten some ideas.
Is that peanut butter or is that butterscotch in the center?
It could be whatever you want, whatever you think it looks like.
Tobacco, a cigar.
Oh God, Rin! Point of diminishing returns. Thank you, Craig. Point of diminishing returns. That's what I was going for.
We found it. We found your word.
I did. Yes, crumble topping, Breno. That's the first thing that came to mind. It's like, this needs some freaking crumble topping. All right, guys, if you like what we do and you want to support us in a fun, tasty way, there's a couple places you can do that. Head on over to flavorjungle.com. We've got a one-shot line, and DIYflavorchaser.com. We also have a line of one-shots there. And I'm allowed to spoil this or sneak it. Chef's Flavors is going to start soon carrying our line of one shot from DIYflavorchaser.com. So, if you're already happen to be shopping at Chef's, it'll be a little bit easier to help support us and check out our one shots than if you wanted to, then going over to DIYflavorchaser.com.
And it's always easier to just buy my one shots and to try to mix my 20 flavoring.
Yes, right? Yeah, whenever you have the option to buy Jen's one shot, just do it because it's worth it. Because if you want the recipe, it's probably 20 flavors. All right, let's thank our sponsors and get on out of here. What do you say, girls?
Sounds good to me.
All right, Flavora, thank you so much for sponsoring us. Bull City, you guys are awesome. Wayne, thank you so much for putting us on your podcast network. And guys that are here watching, thank you so much. We love you all. We will see you next week. Have a great week.